Hey folks, it's Corey Glover, and you're watching and listening to Epic Footnote.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tell the Truth and a Lie. I'm Matt.
And I'm Zach.
If you haven't joined us for one of these, this is the second of our 2 interview series that we do with artists. You clicked on the picture. It is Corey Glover of Living Color. And it was a great interview. If you missed part 1 of the interview, I highly advise you go back and check that out because he does talk a lot about his new project, Disciples of Verity, and about the one and only Mick Jagger and what he's got to talk to him about throughout the years and, just his experiences with Mick. But Zach, this time we did a little game with him.
Good old-fashioned game of 2 truths and a lie. And I love this game because even the lie, this is literally the only interview that I think encourages artists to lie to the interviewer's face. But even the lie is a little bit telling. And finding out some of the stuff that happened to him on tour, some of the stuff that's happened behind the scenes that constantly keeps being popped up, that was just a lot of fun to hear. And then I also had to find it because not many people realize how much of a respected actor Corey is, both on stage and on screen. And I know that I remember him saying how much being in Jesus Christ Superstar, the touring stage rendition of it, was to him. So hearing just how much that inspired his whole career, which is really, really special. So, sit back, enjoy part 2 of our chat with Corey Glover. Check out his new band, Disciples of Verity, and stay tuned for a lot of exciting things coming from Living Color. From the first part of the interview that we did with him, sounds like there's some really cool, exciting things in the works. Also, let us know who else you want us to be talking to, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Epic Footnote. We want to hear from you. And thanks so much for listening, and we hope you tune into another episode real soon.
Time's up. See you later.
In our show, Tell the Truth and a Lie, we ask artists to share 2 facts and 1 fib that might fool most diehard fans about their careers. And you're going to present all 3 of them as if they're true, and then Matt and I are going to ask you questions, trying to be detectives to figure out which is the lie.
Okay. I fell off the stage on a Steel Wheels tour and fell half a story to the floor.
Ooh.
Oh. I'm still in pain thinking about that. Wow.
Danny Glover is not my father. I got out of a speeding ticket because the guy recognized me.
Interesting.
So I don't want the first one to be true because I can imagine how painful it was. But what stop on the tour was this when you fell off the stage?
Indiana.
Were you just in the moment? Like you were just...
Well, as you well know, a long time ago, I had very long hair and I like to flare it around. And sometimes I did it with my eyes closed.
And yeah, I'm sure that didn't help.
All right, I'm going to go to the ticket. Where was that? When did that happen?
I was out on Long Island, and I was on the LIE, and I'm heading back into the city.
How did the moment that the officer recognized who you were come about? Like, did they just look at your license? Did they come up?
Handed him my license. He looked at me strangely first. Looked down at the license. Looked at me. Looked down at the license. Didn't I see you on television yesterday? Yeah, you did.
So now the second one, your father is not Danny Glover. Now I am almost like very certain that's definitely true that he's not your father. How often do you get mixed up for being related to him?
It was said in the press to the point where Corey Glover, son of Danny.
Now, and it's funny because not only, obviously you're an acclaimed musician yourself, but you also do a lot of acting. Yeah. So I'm sure that hasn't helped.
It didn't help
the rumors either.
Not at all.
I kind of want to say that you falling off the stage didn't happen, partly because I can only imagine how painful that was for you. So it's more so out of hope for yourself. It wasn't that. Matt?
Just to be different, I'm going to go with the getting out of a ticket, even though that probably is true.
So which one is the lie?
The speeding ticket.
Ah, you never got out of a speeding ticket. Huh?
Yeah.
I've gotten out of other scrapes with the police, not a speeding ticket.
What
There
kind
we
of
go.
scrapes?
Well, I remember one time I was on a date and the cops rolled up like front tires on the sidewalk with the lights on, the sirens going. And the guy on the speakers is like, "Are you Corey Glover?" With somebody. My whole thing, my whole cool just went out the window. I'm not getting laid because of you. Thank you.
Or maybe you are, because she didn't know you were Corey Glover. It was a good little way to introduce.
Right.
Interesting. I kind of also want to ask. So, talking about getting mistaken for a famous actor, and you've done a lot of acting, as well as Broadway musicals, or I should say musicals on stage. Having done Jesus Christ Superstar, and I'm just curious. You've mentioned before how influential seeing the movie version of it was
Yes.
in your life. What was it like to finally take on the role of Judas for the first time once the opportunity arose?
Doing that with Ted Neely, who was in the movie, that changed my life, bended my mind in a way I couldn't understand. Even in the audition process, because it was so intense and it was so much a thing that I had to walk out of the audition after a while.
Wow.
Like, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. And I'm never going to fill the shoes of Carl Anderson, that's for sure. It was a dream come true. I mean, this was the show that ostensibly put me on the path of being who I am. Like, I saw that movie as like an 8 or 9, 10-year-old and said, I want to sound like that guy.
Wow.
If I'm going to be a rock singer, it's that guy I want to sound like, Carl Anderson. If I wanted to be an actor in a musical, that's the part I'd want to play. If I wanted to do a show that was as intense, it would be that one. So I ticked it all off my bucket list with Ted Neely.
That's an incredible experience to accomplish. And I'm curious, how has that experience maybe influenced the way you proceeded to perform on stage, whether it's recording with Disciple Severity or even like continuing to perform a Living Color? How did that experience of playing Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar change the way you maybe looked at live performances?
Before I got into bands, I was an actor. I was doing theater. I was doing a lot of musical theater. And the thing about musical theater is you're really trying to portray the character. And with a band, you're trying to get across an emotion. So here I was in this show, and long since not really having done musical theater in a bit, and doing this like a rock singer. But I can't be a rock singer completely because there's other people on stage I have to act with, and I have to react and bounce off of what they're giving me. I can't it can't be static and me just saying to the audience what I'm doing. I'm doing this to somebody else. I'm saying something to somebody else. So I had to learn that it wasn't just songs, it was dialogue. And the dialogue is between two people or a group of people. So I came away with it like, do what you do as though you're talking to other people, even if that person's yourself.
Right.
You have to treat this as though you're in a conversation.